Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be making a bookmark, a back to school bookmark for you, and what I am going to be using is the pencil that comes from the Smiley Cards cartridge that if you had purchased your Gypsy machine and registered it between a certain time frame, you could download several cartridges for free, and one of them was this exclusive Smiley Cards cartridge. So this image is located on row 3, button number 6. I picked all the layers that I need to pick to complete this project, and I sized it at 6 inches. This is going to be a little chunkier than most of your bookmarks. They're probably about 1.5 inches wide. This measures wide at the widest. So it's kind of large, but it's okay if you have small kids. They can use this in their books. And to get started, I have everything cut out already. I'm going to go ahead and just ink around the edges using some vintage photo distress ink. And you don't have to do this. I just prefer to do it, especially when I'm cutting and coloring everything on my Cricut Imagine. And for these colors, I used the Hopscotch cartridge and the coordinating colors with that cartridge. It's really nice that I don't have to go through my paper stash and try to match up colors to my sorry, I'm umming a lot, to my images or to my patterns, because it's already done for us right there on the cartridge. And I'm just going to quickly ink. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take the eraser part, and I'm going to take this yellow pencil piece, like where you would sharpen your pencil, after I ink these, and we're going to run them through the Cuttlebug just to give them a little bit of texture. And go ahead and get all this done. And you can take your time doing this. I just prefer not to see, if you can see here, there's the white from my paper, because my paper's white. I just don't like to see that white edge. I'm not really a big fan of white core cardstock, so I like to ink my edges a little. And okay, let me move these out of the way and get my Cuttlebug, and we are going to be using the folder from Stampin' Up. It is called I don't know what it's called. I'll put it down at the bottom of my screen. I'm sorry. I did know what it was. Square box, square lattice. Maybe square lattice, I think is what it's called. Okay, so I'm just going to put them in here, and I'm going to try to get them straight. Let me get my Cuttlebug up here. And get this in here. I'm going to try and get these lined up straight. I don't like when my stuff gets crooked. So take your time, and then we'll use our A plate and our 2 B plates, and we'll run it through. Okay, I have everything put together and all my layers attached. The last thing I'm going to do is add a pair of sunglasses, because my theme is going to be reading is cool. And these are not part of this pencil. These sunglasses are actually from the snowman that is on the same Smiley Cards cartridge. And I don't know what button he's on, but I sized this at 6.94 on my Gypsy. And I did it on the, not the Imagine side, but I did it on the Cricut side, because it also cuts out a hat and some other odds and ends that it's needed for that layer. So I hid the contour on the hat and everything else and just left the glasses and cut them at 6.94 with just plain black cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on to him. I'm using just some quick dry Scotch adhesive you could use tape or any other kind of adhesive that you have. And we're just going to position them like right where his eyes would be. Okay, and if you wanted to, find my gel pen, here it is. I'm just going to put a little bit of white, highlight his glasses, and that's it for that. Now what I'm going to do is, I was going to take this to my office supply store and get it laminated, but I found this at my local dollar store. It's this huge roll of just clear contact paper, and I paid, I think it was $2.50 for the roll of it. So I'm going to use this. I did try it on my prototype. Where is my prototype? I'll show you. Yes, I go through a prototype when I do these, but this, I used it on this, and you can see it looks like it's been laminated at the store, and you can't take it apart. I tried to find a seam to get it apart, and it will not come off, so that's a good thing with that. The only thing is it's been rolled up, so it's sort of a little bit of a fight to get started, to get this going. But I wanted to show you how, oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off, and it's pretty easy to work with. It's not like, you know, saran wrap where it attaches itself to itself. So I have a little bit of ink on the back. That's okay though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it on here. I'm going to lay it face down, so I found that works the best. And then I'm just going to take this and fold it over on itself. Now I'm going to leave some space here at the top because I don't want this to go right to the edge, because we're going to cut around it and we want to have that little lip so it can't separate on itself. So I'm just going to pull this over, give myself some room, and just press down. And if you have a brayer, that would be better. So I am going to be using my bone folder here shortly, because I want to show you around the edges. You're going to get a little bit of like an air gap, and in here, if you press down really good, bring your bone folder over it, and this is just as good as laminating it at the office supply store. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and go around all of these edges and around this outside edge as well, and really adhere it down. You could use your finger, you could use your fingernail, you could use, I wouldn't use anything sharp, but you could use, you know, just about anything, a credit card or whatever you have on hand. So let me go ahead and do that, and when I'm done I'll come right back and we'll finish up this project. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry that I didn't show you how to cut all this, but my laptop decided the battery was going to wear out. So I've already got it cut out, and all you need to do is take, you know, a pair of scissors or a craft knife and just cut around, and you want to leave a little bit of an edge here, because if you cut right up to your piece of paper, the laminate or the contact paper in this case is not going to stick together and it'll just come off. So you need to seal it all the way around. And what I did is I use 2-piece grommets. I like these a lot better than the 1-piece grommet, and I'll show you why. Excuse my arm. This is just my sample. Like when I buy them, I was trying them out, and instead of trying to figure out what setting each time, I would set one, and then I would write down A1 or A2 or any kind of little notes or anything for the individual ones that I was using. But if I use the single-sided one like this copper here, you see how the back is all jaggy? I don't know if it's because I'm doing this wrong or what, but that's how mine always turn out. And if it's on a scrapbook page, who cares? But since it's going to be used by kids and everything, I wanted to have both sides be smooth. So I punched a hole using my 3/16 inch size on my crocodile. I used the biggest size hole, and then I put in my grommet, and this is a little tricky to do this because they to come apart a little bit when you're trying to put them in here, and I used the A1 setting. Let me move this back over, and I'm going to slide this in here and give it a squeeze, and then you can see it's nice and finished on both sides, and it's not going to catch on anybody or scratch anybody. Okay, so I have my ribbon that I'm going to use to put in here, and I always forget which way to feed these so that the loop comes out the right way. I think I go from the back. We'll find out together. I know somebody's out there probably going, no, you're going the wrong way. I do that on videos. I'm sure everybody does. And, yep, I knew it. I was going the wrong way. So, okay, hang on, let me turn this around real quick. See, I heard y'all yelling at me. Wrong way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and feed this through. And just pull it up through like this. And I like this ribbon. I know the reds don't really match exactly, but I like the stitching on this, and there's stitching in my pattern paper. So I figure it all goes together nicely. Okay, let me get my good scissors. And I'm just going to cut these both the same and together. I'm going to leave these kind of long. Okay. And we are all done with our cool pencil bookmark. And he's ready to go to work in a book. So there you go, and I hope everybody enjoyed, and I will see you again next Saturday for another project. Thanks for stopping by.